What's going on, everybody? Let's get right into it. My observations from today, is the Mario Cristobal Football Camp. Today was the individual camp, which was different than the 7-on-7 event that they had before. And basically, there were a lot of guys out here that, if I were to guess, maybe 300 to 400 participants, but there were some particular guys that I want to focus in on and talk to you guys about based on my observations of what I saw with how they participated in camp, and also these individual private workouts with the coaching staff. Let's start out with the private workouts. This is allowed by the NCAA, and what it is some guys are able to do some workouts on their own with the coaches. And today I was not able to film. I wasn't allowed to film these workouts, but I was able to watch. So just some observations. So let's start with these workouts. There were two guys that were working out. They started it off, and that was Northwestern wide receiver Andy Jean. I'll get into some of the stuff with him. And then Dillard running back Christopher Johnson, a speed guy that Miami offered this spring. For me personally, it was great seeing both of these guys. I had not seen Johnson in person, and so there's some things that I was excited about in seeing him with the workout. But starting with Andy Jean and his workout with Coach Gaddis. And the one thing I want to mention with these individual workouts is there were a lot of coaches on the field, not just the position coaches or not just staffers, but the coordinators. Head coach Mario Cristobal was out there for all of these. So it was just great to see. I think there was just a heavy involvement, a lot of eyes on the players. And with Andy Jean, Coach Gaddis was really working on a few things that stood out to me in this workout, particularly with the angles at the wide receiver position. He spoke about that a lot about some technique, in particular some weight balance stuff. It was just interesting in hearing Coach Gaddis coach him up, basically, with these things with weight balance and some of the things with angles and techniques. It is a lot about explosion, and Coach talked about that as well. But I thought Andy did well. He smiled during it. It was a nice little workout. He caught some passes. It was a lot of short route type stuff or short drill type stuff. It wasn't something where Andy was running 50 yards downfield, hauling in passes or anything like that. It was just to really work on some technique stuff, and I thought he did a good job, and certainly he looked good. I'm looking forward to seeing Andy more. I've liked what I've seen from him in the past, but I always like seeing these guys more because they continue to get better. So keep your eye on Andy Jean. And with Chris Johnson, what they were really working on was how he fielded essentially punts. And so what they did was there was a drill that they put him through that I thought was really interesting. But basically, they had the ball getting ready to be, out the jugs machine, and Chris had his back to it. So he had to wait, and then when he was able to, when he was allowed to go, he would look up and try to track the ball. And I thought that was great. It was definitely a skillful thing to be able to do, as opposed to just standing there waiting and then tracking it and catching it, seeing it from the beginning. So I thought that was good, and he did a good job. He fielded the ones that I watched, and certainly you saw him just a little bit of explosion. Wasn't going 100% or anything like that. But one thing I want to mention, because it was the first time that I got a chance to see him in person, he was a little bit bigger than I thought. Not the biggest guy or anything like that, but taller, and I think that's a positive sign. But anytime you have speed like that, like he has, if he can be a weapon on special teams, that's certainly a bonus, and Miami would certainly like to add him to this class. There were two other guys that got a good extensive workout in different ways. And let's start with cornerback Sharif Denson. He actually did do some of the testing. He ran the 40. I have video of that. I don't know. I didn't get a full video because, once again, didn't do the individual workout. And I didn't see him participate after he ran the 40, but I do want to report he ran a 4.55 hand timed 40, and they felt good about it afterwards. Cornerbacks Coach Damaladai, went up to him and was excited about it. So he liked that he ran that and was better than his first time. So that was good to see. But Denson also went through some individual, some cornerback drills with Coach out on this individual workout, and just the typical things that we see players do, with the back pedal, the footwork, exploding out of some breaks there. And so I thought Denson looked good. And one of the things with this camp, which was great, is some of the players did so in helmets, and Denson was one of those guys. Even though they weren't in pads, it's just good to see guys out in helmets. So that was good that he made the trip down to South Florida for this. The next guy I want to talk about is Robbie Washington out of Palmetto, recent transfer there. And he's a Miami commit, and he's actually the guy that I saw the most today. So I will have a full video of him on his performance at camp on the channel, so stay tuned for that. Definitely subscribe if you haven't yet. Like this video if you do. But with Robbie, you know, it was good because he participated in the camp portion of the event. You know, it's with this camp, it started out inside in the indoor practice facility, but as you can see, this is nothing like the last camp with the 7-on-7 event. No chance of rain. They've been able to be outside as much as they want to, but they started out at the indoor practice facility, did some work there, and then they went outside on the Green Tree practice fields, and Robbie did a great job, you know, catching the ball throughout the day, but also on some deeper routes that they were able to do outside with the quarterbacks. And I thought he did good. You know, he looked good. And one of the things I want to mention with the individual workout with Coach Gaddis, it was a little bit different than the one that Andy Jean was kind of going through. They just seemed to be doing a little bit different drills and workout stuff, but certainly the priority or the emphasis from Coach still had to do with technique. A lot of short stuff, balance, weight distribution on some things, you know, so that was still emphasized, but there were a little bit different things there. But you know, with Robbie, what stands out to me, and I know many of you are excited about his offensive skill set and the versatility. I know the coaches like that as well about him. You know, he can play wide receiver, jump in the slot, maybe be running back a little bit at times. Wherever they want him, he can move around. But it's his versatility on defense. In particular, you know, I'm not going to say he's a two-way player, but I think because he's got a little bit of a defensive skill set, I think he's a guy to watch for on special teams, particularly when he arrives at Miami. It's a way for him to get on the field sooner than later, and that's how most freshmen are. But I'm going to be curious to see how he does with that moving forward and as he finishes up high school, but just how he does. You know, just as maybe a potential special teams guy, making tackles and making plays there, not just as a returner. But there's all kinds of skills that they need on a team, and I think he's a guy that can fill a lot of different roles, and he certainly looked good today, and it was great seeing him again today. And then there were a couple quarterbacks I paid a lot of attention to. These guys are 2024 prospects, both out of state, which is always great to get guys from out of state in here at your camp on campus, and both guys threw. They didn't just come down here and hang out, they threw, they participated in the event, and that's Isaac Wilson out of Utah, and then Michael Hawkins out of Texas. And with Isaac, he's been on this whirlwind tour, going to different campuses across the country, Alabama, Georgia just recently, Oklahoma. He's been to a lot of different schools across the country. It was good that he stopped in at Miami. It was just good watching him throw the ball and just kind of his demeanor a little bit, going through the workouts. He was getting instruction from Jake Garcia, Miami's quarterback. So they were able to, you know, kind of work with them there. And Frank Ponce as well was certainly, you know, when you watch these camps, these coaches are coaching these guys very similar to how they coach a UM practice. You know, the drills are similar, kind of the points of emphasis, so that's good to see. And then Isaac, you know, he's a younger brother of Zach Wilson, so certainly he's got a guy there to look up to as a brother there that's doing well at quarterback. So it was good to see him. And then Michael Hawkins from Texas, another guy that's highly regarded in this 2024 class. It was good watching him. Mobile guy, did well in drills as well. So I hope that I got enough clips today from Isaac and Michael to put videos on each of them on the channel as well. So those are the guys that I watched for in particular today. You know, and I touched on Jake Garcia, just good to see him out here. And the thing is with these guys that are out here, it's not that they're just standing around and kind of there. These guys are leading these drills. They're teaching these players. They're going through it. They're showing guys exactly how the drill is supposed to be done. So again, good to see Jake as well. And there were the other guys, you know, all the guys from, you know, the video of the walk ball. Shout out to everybody that watched that. It was good seeing those guys once again, the linemen, all those guys. So they just, you know, seem to like being around the program. And there was a lot of guys here as well, maybe, I don't know, 10 to 20 players here for this camp. So that was good. But I want to wrap this up. I got some videos to work on, but definitely look, more detailed information from the camp will be on InsideTheU.com. There's going to be a lot of VIP stuff, but definitely check that out. If you don't have a subscription, if you're interested in maybe a little bit more content, more details than what I provide here in the video, but definitely check that out. But definitely stay tuned to the channel because I do have these other videos I'm going to work on. Appreciate everybody for watching. Hopefully you have a good rest of the day. Looking forward to the next camp, and take care.